Good evening, students. First of all, with this hope that all of you are keeping in good health, you all are taking care of your health, which is the most important thing at this point in time. Okay, and at the same time, you continue with your studies. Students, it is still uncertain up to when we are going to have these type of classes, when we are going to meet, right? But board exams will be there as it is, because now today also the some papers were left, especially Hindi paper was left, and commerce section, BST, or maybe accountancy paper was left, I think. Then your computer science and IP paper was left. Dates are announced, right? So board exam will take place, and now you are at this point of time in class 12. Pay attention to what your teachers are saying, what your parents are saying. All see, they wish good for you, right? And I also know that you people have also set a good target for you, set a high, you all have high aspirations. But the thing is, how much effort you are putting in, that holds importance, right? That is also very very important, that only just aspiring or thinking that something will be done will not be done unless and until you put in your efforts, right? If you have any problem regarding this particular subject, without any hesitation, do ask me. Okay, now we will continue this chapter, Journey to the End of the Earth, which we have started yesterday. I have already told you, you have to pay attention towards the minute details so that you are able to answer 2 mark questions. And one 6 mark question also will be there from your Vistas book. Thankfully, reference to context question will not be asked from the chapters that are in Vistas. Okay. Yesterday we have completed some part of the chapter, and we will continue from page number 19, last paragraph. You already know that the author, with a team of students, had visited Antarctica. Okay, and the author was amazed, full of wonder at the serenity, at the calmness, at the atmosphere or the environment which was there in Antarctica. Right now, what she was basically focusing was that how human beings have destroyed the natural vegetation of this planet. Even many of the creatures, many of the species of animals, they are at the verge of extinction. Endangered animals. There are animals like dinosaurs, they are extinct, and some animals, especially the leopard, the tigers, they are at the verge of extinction, and that is why the government is trying hard to protect them. And all of this is just because of human beings, right? Otherwise, nature has made a very balanced ecosystem. Okay, every creature, every living being has a suitable thing on this particular planet earth to have. But indiscriminate exploitation of the natural resources of the earth has created this situation. Now let us continue. So here the author says that for a sun worshipping South Indian, I told you that she visited Antarctica from the chapter it is written Madras. Today it is called Chennai. So, for a sun worshipping South Indian like myself, 2 weeks in a place where 90% of the earth's total ice volumes are stored. 90% of the total ice volume is present where? In Antarctica. So she is saying that where 90% of the earth's total ice volumes are stored in a is a chilling prospect. Obviously, chilling. Chill is related to ice, one thing. And then in bracket, it is written not just for circulatory and metabolic functions, but also for the imagination. Now, chilling prospect here has two meaning. One is obviously uh, that chill, that temperature there affects the blood circulation. Okay, that is why she is saying for circulatory and metabolic function. Metabolic function, that chemical reactions, that metabolism, that you know. Okay, so this is affected, and apart from circulatory, the blood circulation and metabolic function, it also affects the imagination. Means she is forced to imagine different things. So here, this chilling prospect has two meaning. One is literal meaning, and other one is metaphoric meaning, and that meaning is related with the word imagination. Okay. Now she says it's like walking into a big ping pong ball. Now, ping pong ball means walking on and experience different things on this continent. Antarctica is like, she has compared it, simile is used here. It is like walking into a giant big ping pong ball. Now, ping pong ball basically is a ball with a hollow in it, means like tennis ball, right? A table tennis ball which has a hollow in it. It is not like very dense, or you can say very heavy like cricket ball. It is a ping pong, huge ping pong ball, and walking on it, it had the same experience. Which experience? Walking on the continent Antarctica, right? So simile is used. Why? Because Antarctica was devoid of any human markers. Now, what if a two mark question is there? Ki what does the author mean by human markers? MARKERS, human markers. She says that Antarctica was devoid of, means there was no human markers. When something is devoid of something, means there is not, that thing is not there. Okay. What were the human markers? What are the human markers that the author is referring to here? Is means there were no trees, there were no billboards. Now, what are billboards? Billboards are all that hoardings, okay, that advertisements and hoardings that are present everywhere, especially in the marketplace. So there were no trees, billboards, no buildings, no houses. You lose all earthly sense of perspective and time here. Again, earthly sense of perspective, right? Now, what is perspective? When we perceive things, how we think, that is the ability to think about the different problems or different situations or take decisions. That is called perspective. Now, the author here says you lose all earthly sense of perspective. Means when we are on this earth, when we are leading a life on this earth, how do we perceive things? How do we assimilate things? How do we think in the simple terms? Okay. How do we, what is the our ability to think about the problems, and even the time, morning, evening, it is 4 o'clock, it is night, it is dark night. That sense is not there. So if two mark question is asked, you lose all earthly sense of perspective and time here, means people, when they lead a life in their own country, in their own town or city or village, they have different perspectives. They sense earth with, they sense the earth according to the surroundings they are living in. Okay, and they have their own time zone. But in Antarctica, you lose all these earthly sense of perspective and time here. The visual scale, what you are able to see, the visual scale ranges from the microscopic, very smallest, tiniest, to mighty, huge. What are the things? Midges, midges, mites to blue whales and icebergs as big as countries. So they were midges. Midges are mosquitoes. Mites are small spiders. Okay. So these are the microscopic things, small things, according to the author, that you visual scale range, that what you can see in Antarctica is from the smallest things to blue whales and icebergs. Obviously, that is the natural thing. Icebergs as big as countries. See, the comparison of icebergs has been made with countries. The largest recorded was the size of Belgium. What? Iceberg. So the largest iceberg till that date, when the author has written this, the largest iceberg which was seen there was as big as which country? Belgium. Just keep it in mind for 2 mark question. Okay. The largest recorded was the size of Belgium. Days go on and on and on in surreal 24-hour austral summer light. Days go on and on. I told you that if it is a day, it is a day. So it goes on and on in very bizarre manner, in a very different manner. Surreal is very bizarre, very different. Okay. And then there is one more word in austral summer light. Austral is southern because this continent is near the southern pole. South pole is there. So how has the author described that days go on and on in surreal? Surreal. Surreal, I told you, is very bizarre, very different. 24 hours austral summer light and a ubiquitous silence. This is again a new word, students. Mark it. Ubiquitous. Ubiquitous silence means all pervading silence. Ubiquitous is something when you say that this is ubiquitous means it is pervading everywhere. It is present everywhere. So that is called ubiquitous. Now there was ubiquitous silence means the whole continent was silent. Which continent? Antarctica. So you got this word ubiquitous. Ubiquitous silence means that silence was there was no see hustle bustle of life, there was no vehicular movement, there was no horn or there were no sound of prayers and everything that happens in every city and village, right? So that is why she is saying that there was ubiquitous silence, but that was also interrupted. 2 mark question again. How was that ubiquitous silence interrupted on the on the continent Antarctica? So this is the answer. And ubiquitous silence interrupted only by the occasional avalanche or calving ice sheet. Avalanche, you understand? So because of that occasional avalanche, there was sound, that silence was interrupted, and calving ice sheet, falling down of ice sheet, right? Breaking up of glaciers, that is called calving, calving. So when the ice glaciers used to break, break, then there was sound, and that ubiquitous silence was interrupted. Is that clear? So, and ubiquitous silence interrupted only by the occasional avalanche or calving ice sheet consecrates the place. Consecrates means when this happens, when there was sound of avalanche or breaking of the ice sheet or the glaciers, that then there was consecrates, that consecrates the place means that makes this sound, makes the place sacred, sacred, makes it sacred, makes it holy. So again underline this word consecrate. Consecrate is something which happens, and that particular action makes that particular object or that particular place very holy, very sacred. So that is called consecrate. Okay, means here if you are asked a question key, what happened to make what were the actions which make the place consecrate, or the which makes Antarctica consecrate? You have to write that the occasional avalanche and the breaking of silence, then calving of glaciers, ice glaciers, happened in such manner that it made that place very holy, very remarkable, very wonderful, and there was a different type of experience. Okay, so consecrate the place. It's an immersion that will force you to place yourself in the context of the Earth's geological history. Again, it's an immersion. When these things are happening, when the ice glaciers are falling, it will force you to place yourself, to think yourself about the Earth's geological history. See, what is difference between geology and geography? Geology, in simple terms, when we read about the evolution of Earth or the history of Earth, right, that is geology. We read about how the Earth was formed, what were the animals which were present earlier, now they are not present, how the continents were formed, what are the condition of the different types of land, or the what are the different types of continents on this globe. So that is geological studies, okay. And geography, I think you know. So it's an immersion that will force you to place yourself in the context of the Earth's geological history. And for humans, the prognosis isn't good. Now again, one word is that for human, the prognosis means you know about everything, and then you try to harm it. It is not good. Okay, so the for all human beings, the prognosis, the knowledge beforehand, we think that we will do that, but nothing will happen. We human beings think that we have a lot of knowledge, so that knowledge beforehand for humans is not good. Okay, prognosis means when we have knowledge beforehand, before anything happens, and we have the knowledge about it, that is called prognosis. Now, human impact on this earth. Next paragraph. Let us do it quickly. Human civilization have been around for a paltry 12,000 years. See why she is using the word paltry. Paltry is a very small figure, or small in number. Paltry word means small. Human history is paltry. See, 12,000 years is not paltry, but in what context it is paltry? In the context that when the lesson began, she was talking about 3 or 5 million years back. So compared to million years, 12,000 years is small, paltry. So this is what is she saying, that dinosaurs were way back before the human civilization started existing on this earth. So human civilization have been around for a paltry 12,000 years, barely a few seconds on the geological clock. According to the geological clock, it is barely a few seconds if we see the history of earth, okay, in that short amount of time. But even in this particular short amount of time of human existence, what amount of time is the author talking here? She is talking about the time from when human have started existing on this earth. So in that short amount of time, we have managed to create quite a ruckus. We have destroyed everything. Okay, ruckus. Ruckus. I think you understand. There is a lot of disturbance. That is called ruckus. Okay. So we human beings have created quite a ruckus, etching our dominance, trying to prove, etching. We are just carving our presence here. Yes, we human beings are present on this earth, and forget about all the other living creatures. So we are etching our dominance, that we are very powerful, dominance. So we are etching our dominance over nature with our village, towns, cities, mega cities, malls, super malls, high rise buildings. Even there is comparison. This is so high, and then this country is making the highest building. It is happening, and we feel proud about it. Okay, this is a bitter truth. So this is what the author is saying, that in that short amount of time when human beings started existing on the earth, we are trying to prove our dominance over nature with our villages, towns, cities, megacities. The rapid increase of human population has left us battling with our species for limited resources. Resources are limited and we are battling with the other living beings. We are destroying their resources, and that is why nowadays the wild animals are entering into human habitation, human residence. This is what she is saying, that the rapid increase of human population has left us battling with other species for limited resources, and the unmitigated burning of fossil fuels has now created a blanket of carbon dioxide around the world, which is slowly but surely increasing the average global temperature. Global temperature is rising, and India is far ahead in that also. You know that. Now, winters are less cool, summers are comparatively hotter year after year. So, there is one more word, students, unmitigated. See, the rapid increase of human population has left us battling with other species for limited resources and the unmitigated burning of fossil fuels. To mitigate something means to make it less. To mitigate is a very important word. You will come across it time and again. So mark it. Mitigate. To mitigate something means to bring down something, but here it is unmitigated, the opposite of mitigate. Okay, so here is unlimited, unmitigated burning of fossil fuels, that petrol, diesel, kerosene. So this is unmitigated, not checked even. So because of this unmitigated burning of fossil fuels, it has created a blanket of obviously carbon dioxide around the world, which is slowly and surely increasing the average global temperature. Okay, so in between, I have already told you that what are the types of 2 mark questions that you may get. Tomorrow we will complete the chapter, and tomorrow I will also give you questions. Okay, okay, students.